and I am ready to answer the questions from media.
Janeline Kabilang of the Manila Bulletin.
Good afternoon, Mr. President. Sir, may we know why you decided to declare martial law in the entire Mindanao, not just Marawi City? Has the government monitored any threats of ISIS in other parts of the country?
There should be no singularization of this mandate. You know, there was the siege in Mindanao, resulting in the destructions of lives and properties. There have been a series of bombings, and all terroristic activities of every kind, every criminal acts committed in the southern part of our country. Remember that Davao City was also a victim of a bombing several months ago. All of these and other things, government decided to just remain tolerant, not oblivious to the terrorist act, but there has been suggestion in the past that they declare martial law. And even some senators, which I cannot mention now, urged me to do it. But I said that there has to be a very compelling reason to do it. And what is that compelling reason? You must remember that earlier, and even in the my first command conference, and the military and the police, alam nila. Sabi ko, I made a projection, not a prediction, that one of these days, the hardest thing to deal with would be the arrival of ISIS in our country. And it has come to pass that there is really war going on and street fighting in Marawi itself. I do not know how many buildings were destroyed, pero yung chief of police ng Malabang, he was in Marawi City. Pag-uwi niya, going back home, he was stopped by a checkpoint that was manned by the terrorists. And I think they were decapitated right there and then. These things government cannot allow. It is an open defiance, and the violence, the atrocities continue. Government must put an end to this. I cannot gamble with ISIS because they are everywhere. And you know what is happening, or you must be very aware of what happened in the Middle East. I was asked during the debates in LaSalle, but unfortunately I was the only candidate who showed up, and I was asked what would be my response to terrorism. And I said I would be harsh, and harsh in enforcing the law. Just a few days ago, and in the past months, I have always said, do not force my hand into it. Because if I start to declare martial law, I will solve all the problems of Mindanao connected with law and order. As president, if I cannot confront them, I will resign. If I am incompetent and incapable of keeping order in this country, let me step down and give the job to somebody else. But I will deal with the problem as it is. Most of you were witnesses many years ago when President Marcos declared martial law. It will be solely between the Commander-in-Chief and the armed forces and the police. but I will assure you that I am not willing to allow abuses. Government is still running, Congress is functioning, the courts are open for citizens to seek their grievance, but in keeping with the law and order, it behooves now on the military, the armed forces, to do what is expected of them. Restore order. And that martial law covers the area of the whole of the entire Pulo, Basilan, and Tawi-Tawi. I am appealing to the humanity of everybody, especially those who saw terror. Do not allow the ISIS to come in. I warn you again, do not do it, because, as I have said, my response would be harsh. I will not hesitate to do anything and everything to protect and preserve the Filipino nation.
Sir, what are the rules of engagements of the military? Will there be more troop deployment, airstrikes, curfew
Well,
during martial law?
it is normal. It is just an augmentation. Ordinarily, the law and order situation is addressed by the police. But once it gets out of hand, out of control, and here comes a foreign ideology that is being imposed on the people, I will not allow it. I will not allow the country to go to the dogs. As I said, the military has the primary role now of keeping the law and order situation and in all parts of the Republic of the Philippines. I may decide to expand the area to include the Visayas because it is just a walking distance actually. And because of the many islands, they can always escape there and begin another terroristic activity. I have ordered the military, especially the Navy, to embargo the islands, especially the sea that separates Mindanao from the Visayas. I am just awaiting for the hard facts. I'll be meeting to the cabinet. I'll be briefed by all the commander of the area. I might also decide to suspend the writ of habeas corpus in the Visayas. Remember that this is not intended for the law-abiding citizen. We are the least of your worry. But if you confront government, and my orders are, one, to enforce the law, and anyone caught possessing a gun and confronting us with violence, my orders are shoot to kill. I will not hesitate to do it. I mean, human rights is different. It is an institutional theory which we will preserve and observe. I said I will not allow abuses. The courts are open. But anyone now holding a gun, confronting government with violence, my orders are spare no one. Let us solve the problem of Mindanao once and for all. Kaya ako sinasabi nung paalis na ako in the past, do not force my hand into it, because I will solve all the problems that ails Mindanao. It would take me maybe 60 days, 15 days, but you can be very sure that the response of government will be not only equal but commensurate to the resistance of the law. Checkpoints will be allowed, searches will be allowed, arrest without a warrant will be allowed in Mindanao. And I do not need to secure any search warrant or a warrant of arrest. If you are identified positively on the other side, you can be arrested and detained. All. But if the things goes out of hand, actually if there is a severe fighting, I will allow the Mindanaoans, Moros and Christians alike, if you are in a possession of a gun licensed by government, and in order to give you security and protect your family, you can bring it out. Just show your ID or your license, especially your license. I said, pagka nagpatayan na pati civilian, I will allow the civilians to carry their guns outside of the residence. But be sure that it is licensed in your name, and do not falsify anything, because you will also be detained and investigated. How many days? I really do not know. There's a law which says that after 3 days. You know, I have always maintained that my duty, my sacred duty to preserve and defend the Filipino does not emanate from any constitutional restriction. It is in my oath of office. I beg to disagree with anyone. In this oath of office, which I promise to God and to the people, that I will protect and defend the country. And dito ako. If I think that you should die, you will die. If you fight us, you will die. If there's an open defiance, you will die. And if it means many people dying, so be it. Ganon talaga. Sinabi ko na sa inyo, do not force my hand. But we are not new in what is the nature of martial law in the Philippines. I said, I will not declare curfew, but maybe in certain areas. Lanao del Sur, Lanao del Norte, Maguindanao, Sultan Kudarat, North Cotabato, and maybe in Zamboanga. To protect the civilians altogether, after the meeting with the cabinet in a few hours, I will issue the corresponding orders to respond to the challenges of providing security for the people. Kayo namang walang mga kasalanan at wala kayong gawin sa gabi, there is no connection of energy doon patay, and maybe they will try. I'm just anticipating to blow up the towers that carries the energy towards Mindanao. And I said, do not do it, because anyone holding a gun, I will issue the necessary orders in providing for the civilians to carry their guns, but not now. And of these places, there will be curfew to enforce by the police and the military.
Good afternoon, sir. I'm Ina Andolong from CNN Philippines. Sir, before you left Russia,